Hey folks, it's Rich here. Look at me, sat in a different place in the flat with my guitar, which is not here. For those who don't know me, I'm a novice guitarist. Yes, novice. And as somebody very kindly asked the other day, and it's a fair question, are you always going to be a novice, Rich? Probably. Got lots of other hobbies, do lots of other things. But anyway, I don't mind. I've had 124 guitars. I enjoy guitars. And what else? What else do you need to know? That's it for now. Let's move on. So, if you are a guitar teacher, or maybe if you're someone who's going to go to a guitar teacher one-on-one, let me just share an experience from the last few weeks. So, I've had some guitar lessons on and off over the years, not many, but with different people for different reasons. And I've done a little bit of online stuff. And as you know, I don't really have any theory, and hence I'm a novice. So I did a video incidentally on my first guitar lesson with this particular guy just recently. So I went to him, half an hour lesson, and I'll tell you why only half an hour in a second as well. And I say to him, well, he asked me, what do you want to learn? And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm a death metal man, I love death metal, but I kind of want to play blues stuff. I know a bit of a scale, I know the odd note, I know some chords. I was a bit all over the place. I didn't really know what I wanted as such, so it was difficult for him to pick up direction from me. So he decided, right, today, as in that lesson today, let's have a look at the A minor scale, position 1. And so he went through it with me too quickly, which was another bit I'm coming on to in a second. And he played some chords over it and we had a bit of a jam, and that was kind of it. So I went back for another lesson, and this is the one where that has made me decide I'm not going back to him. And maybe if you're a guitar teacher, something that you come across or something to think about. So first off, I'm in sales myself, and I talk about concepts that people aren't always aware of. Now, I'm fortunate enough that I am successful in what I do, it works for me. The feedback I get is generally very good, so I'm not saying I'm perfect, but most of the time I get across what I need to get across in the right way, because I ask what I think are the right questions. I know my audience, I understand, and I pick up on what they're saying and doing. Not so this guitar teacher. Brilliant guitarist as he is, I've no doubt about that at all. So we go in, hi Rich, so what are we doing? And I'm like, oh, remember last time we talked about blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we didn't pick back up on the minor scale, decided to go on the minor pentatonic scale instead. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I know all those positions, or I did. I haven't practiced them religiously in each position for a while, but as you'll see from my playing to backing track videos, whilst I sit around position 1, I move up and down the fretboard and I use bits of all the other ones as well. So I've got an idea of them. Anyway, so I'm right-handed, so is he. He sat opposite me, so we mirror image of each other next to the way. So he says, right, fingers here for this first position. I'm like, yeah, I know the first position, luckily, because your fingers went so quickly, that was a blur. And also, your mirror image to me, so your fingers are going in the opposite direction to mine. I don't mean a fat lot. Look, unless I do this, I'm looking upside down. It doesn't mean a huge amount. It's not that obvious. Plus, everyone learns in a different way. Now, for me, problem-solving things and number-related things, my brain takes a bit longer to take those in, to assimilate the information. When it comes to literacy and things like geography and history and anything that's arty or wordy based, that's my strength. Anything problem solving, numbers, mathematics, science, no, more difficult. So this is conceptual, isn't it? So anyway, he's going too quickly, so I ask him, slow down. And then he says, right, we're going to start each of the positions on the root note. Now, I know the root note is the key that particular scale is played in, but I don't know any of the notes other than the high E and the low E, the obvious ones. I don't know any of the notes on the fretboard, so he's just assuming I know where that is. So then he goes, oh, I'll get my tablet out and I'll show you. Oh, the tablet battery has died. I'll use my phone. Not good. Much smaller, and of course the screen keeps going off. So then he's back to, because the screen keeps going off, right, we'll start here. I'm like, that's just too quick. And where is the root note? Well, the root note's here. His fretboard's guitar's backwards, isn't it, to mine? And I'm like, because I don't know the notes, he's just, I think, assuming that I did, or it's obvious because he's got his finger on it on his neck that's round the other way to me. And he's got, right, so we'll start here, because what he wanted to do on each position is start at the root note rather than start on the low E in the shape that it looks on the picture, on the diagram. So that was all just too quick and too unclear, really. But he wasn't picking up on the fact that my fingers weren't going like his. I was kind of going, and I kept making mistakes. And then I couldn't look at his, oh, your screen's gone off on your phone for my reference point on it. And he's also got one of these people who has got his little nuances to, he kept saying, does that make sense? After every 17 words, does that make sense? And I think, well, no. That's why my fingers aren't really doing what yours are doing. Not that they'd be as quick as that anyway. So the point of this little video stroke rant is, if you're a teacher of anything, really, you need to ask the appropriate questions of the person that you're trying to help or assist or teach, and whatever it is they're doing. And gauge as you're going along. Are they picking up what you're saying? Are you articulating it clearly enough? Are you, if not, have you got visual aids that they can clearly see? Don't just carry on regardless when they're seemingly not picking it up. Maybe they haven't even noticed they're picking it up. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's one thing being good at something. It's another thing being good at showing other people that. It's a bit like in my world, in sales, often a successful salesperson, or I say successful, someone who does good, that does their numbers and hits their targets regularly, when a position comes up, they quite often get bumped up to sales manager. Just because you're good at selling your product and being good at numbers doesn't mean you're going to be good at managing people. They're two totally different skills. And likewise, being a guitarist, being a very good guitarist is not the same as being a guitar teacher. So I'm not going back for another lesson there. No, I am not. So what am I going to do? Apart from be a novice forever. I think actually I'm going to plummet for Fender Play. I had a free trial on it. I like the format of it. It's got some things on there that are a bit more straightforward than just in guitar. Fewer lessons on it as well. A bit more concise. It's about £10 a month. It's not, bearing in mind in the UK here, £19.50 for a half an hour face-to-face lesson, or £35 for a full hour. Quite why you'd need an hour, I don't know anyway. Hello, Mr. Teacher. He says, have you practiced what you did last week? You say, yes, here I go. Here's something new to learn. Try it. Yeah, let's have a quick jam. Brilliant. Off you go. Learn that. I'll see you next time. An hour, you just end up chit-chatting 15 or 20 minutes of that away. It's just too much, I think, in terms of actual content. But anyway, so I think probably Fender Play, and then I'll have to be disciplined and put myself in a bit of a practice routine and some structure, and go back to some basics on using my metronome for some timing, get my scales a little bit better, bending to pitch, chord changes, some of those things. So yes, discipline, Richard. Anyway, this video is 8 minutes long. Sorry about that. If you're still here, well done you. And thank you so much to everyone who's chosen to subscribe and spend time with me. Good to have you on board.